Hey, this is IndigoMusic.com. I'm Rohit, and today we're talking about a very important topic. It's quitting your job for pursuit of your passion. And joining me right now is one such artist who did the same, Vilas Nayak, who's a self-taught artist from Bangalore. He quit his corporate job to follow his passion for art, and he has performed in some of the most prestigious stages. I'll name a few of them. You might have seen him on Asia's Got Talent, India's Got Talent World, and of course at United Nations General Assembly in New York and Geneva. He's also performed at the FIA award ceremony, which is basically the Formula One award ceremony at the Louvre in Paris, to name a few, and also performed in 35 plus countries. Vilas, welcome to IndigoMusic.com. Good morning.
Good morning, Rohit. Thank you for having me on the show. And hello and good morning to everyone. Namaskara. Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting topic to speak about, but because that's exactly what I did 13 years ago, quitting my job and taking up something which I was really, really passionate about.
Right, and I want to talk to you about that itself because lucrative corporate job in which you were versus career in performing arts and of course with speed painting, which is your forte. What are some of the pros and cons of each of them?
Oh, okay. So I think the best part of it is, as they say, okay, love your job, and nothing better than actually to pursue your hobby or passion and then convert that into a profession.
Yeah.
Then the negative part would be, of course, in terms of financials, unless you take a very calculated risk
Mm.
to get into a certain area which combines both financial, it has to give you back. You have to be able to pay your bill as well. Otherwise, there's no point, just blindly following your passion and all that stuff.
Correct.
That's exactly what I did, because I always wanted to be an artist from childhood, but I didn't take that plunge until I was working here in Bangalore for 6 years, until a point where I was sure, I was confident that yes, this is the time to, probably take that risk. And I did that.
Right, and you spoke about taking that plunge, and I want to ask you, when do you think is it the right time for an artist like yourself, or maybe in any form of art, music, painting, artwork like you do, when do you think is the right time to take that plunge?
Look, I'll just share what happened with me. Like, I was
Okay.
always good in art, right from college days. I could have taken that plunge at that point itself. But then, I'm not from a financially well-off family. And most of us here in India are not. I mean, we are all from middle class background or whatever, majority of the people. So I had to take care of my family and livelihood. How do you do that doing a painting? I mean, unless you have a name, people won't buy it for a good amount. I mean, it's tough to survive. So I was a rank holder in academics, so I started working in Bangalore, earned some livelihood, and then I was part of India's Got Talent. Even after that, I didn't quit my job because most of the reality show stars, they're nowhere after a few years. So I wanted to see how it goes. For
Mm.
about 8 months, I was working in corporate at the same time doing shows all over the world. And at that point of time, I realized, okay, this can work. So after 8 months juggling both the jobs, I quit my job. And even at that point, I always had a second option, which was like, okay, if this doesn't go well after 1 or 2 years,
Yeah.
I can always get back to corporate life and I can keep my passion as just as a hobby.
Right. And speaking about finances, just taking a look at one of your videos 9 years ago, which it's uploaded on YouTube, and it's got about 9.9 million views, and that's from Asia's Got Talent, where you
My name is Vilas. I'm from India.
speed painted a portrait of Heath Ledger as a Joker, and one of the judges bought it for $1,200. Do you think
Yeah.
was that a plan, or was it, did you prep for it, saying, what, I'll sell my artwork, or is another plan needs to be there if things go other way?
Okay, no, actually, what happened on the show was that was completely unplanned. I was really taken aback. Usually, they just, as a judge, they give you their comment, but here they wanted to buy that artwork. I would say he really paid a less amount for that. That painting, if I auction it now, will go for like much, much more than that. But then, of course, that is. He's a great Hollywood producer, so I'm really happy he's having that painting with him. But yes, with regards to financials, it's very important again, to have a plan, as I said, and to be good at what you are. Also to have a, I think in that way, corporate experience really is helping me to
Okay.
actually probably market my products or to have a brand. It's very important. I see a lot of extraordinary great painters here in India who are not able to sell their artworks even for a minimal amount, whereas there are few artists who are selling it at very exorbitant price.
Because end of the day, like you mentioned earlier, it should also pay your bills. It should put the food on the table. That your passion plus you make a living out of it. But I want to ask you, someone who's in the dilemma whether to quit their corporate job and pursue the passion. Fear is obvious. A lot of people will have fear about it. But is it the confidence or was it the drive for you? And of course, no looking back now because it's working for you. What's the mantra to be successful when it comes to pursuing your passion?
Yeah, I think those who are, let's say, doing some other job right now and want to take that plunge, I think I would say what worked for me was, of course, as I said, I juggled both the jobs for like close to a year to see how the other one is going. So I think it's very important to do that rather than actually quitting your job and saying, oh, let's see how does that go. I think what if it doesn't go well, right? I mean, anything can happen. So if something of that sort happens, I think, I was always good. I was happy to actually do painting as my hobby. How do you stand out? Again, I think to be very, very successful, it is important to be yourself and not to follow the trend.
Absolutely. Well, Vilas, thank you so much for getting in touch. Thank you so much for having this wonderful conversation. I hope this has inspired a lot of people who are, like I mentioned earlier, in that dilemma whether to take the plunge or not. I think they will have a lot of thinking points that they would take away from this conversation. Thank you so much, Vilas, and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you very much. You too. Thank you.